Good morning and happy Friday. Today is the day. Today is exam day. It's looking spooky. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of stopped vlogging yesterday just because it just would have been more montage of me like studying in time lapse, and I just was like, you've seen it all before. I took another practice exam pretty late because so I came up from the cafe, I washed my hair. I'm not gonna get into why I washed my hair, but I felt like I had to wash it, so I washed it, which took time and exhausted me a bit. And then I ate food, and then I did my third practice exam, and I passed it, but not by much. So I don't know if the second one was like, it wasn't a fluke in the sense of I got a lot of things right because, loud truck. I got a lot of things right because I guessed, but it was more so, it was just luck that the things on there I just knew really well, where the first exam and the third exam had a lot of things that I just didn't know as well. I reviewed the third exam, went to sleep. I woke up at like 5:40 this morning, kind of like half natural, but half like Vaco was playing right next to me in bed. He kind of was using my arm and like woke me up a bit. I've just kind of been like studying ever since, aside from me getting ready. And now it's 8:58. I'm supposed to be at school around 8:45. And my exam is supposed to start at 9. LOL. The reason I'm sitting here is because I don't have my car, so I'm waiting for this Uber who's 4 minutes away. God knows when I'll get here. So, whatever. I mean, it's not like the exam just starts. You kind of start your own exam on your own laptop. Let me update you on what will happen after the exam. So I have my exam. It should end around, 2 minutes. Okay, I should go outside. It should end around 1-ish. And then I'm supposed to have a meeting at 1. I said that I would be a little late because I'm coming from my shelf, but I'm gonna be like really late to that, I think, now, because we're starting the exam late. So not good on all fronts. After that meeting, I'm meeting up with Daphne at school, and we're gonna go out, and we're gonna get food, and we're gonna catch up, and then we're gonna go to the Insomnia Secret Cookie Lab Speakeasy. I think there's only one that they've made, and it's here in Philly, and I've been wanting to go since they made it, so I'm so excited to go today. I don't know if you can make cookies, but you can make milkshakes, and like you can just do all these crazy things, so I'm super excited. Of course, I'll bring you along to everything. And then, oh my God, look at this child. Don't mind my messy apartment, like like Vok, why are you so creepy? Are you okay? Cool. Then Abe will come over with Azula when I get home, and the four of us will be here, and we're gonna work on the kittens, getting to know each other and all of that. So I will vlog as much as I can this weekend, and then I start OB-GYN on Monday, which we're not gonna talk about because we can't think about it because I need to pass this exam and now I need to go outside. So I'm gonna go. Wish me luck. Wish me luck, and I'll see you later when I'm free. Obviously have a bit of a new dynamic with the baby kitten. Inside. Oh my God! Oh my God! Hey. These days, it's not easy. All four of his legs under the door and starts shaking the door. Like, I thought it was gonna break. I immediately got up and came out. Stop. Like, on the rim or in the toilet? These days, it's
not easy, easy, easy. Ooh,
Oh, wow.
you say you don't need me, need me, need me.
Wow. Do I just drink it like normal? Okay. Thank you.
You can do like a 4 for
it's not easy, easy, easy. Ooh, 'cause you say you don't need me, need me, need me. Living in the summer, where have you gone?
Well, I just got home. I definitely thought I would be home 5 hours ago. Today has been quite the day. It's been quite the day, which it started out being quite the day this morning with the Uber and like, that was just annoying. And then my exam froze twice while I was taking it. I was on question 104, trying to get to 105, and all I had to do was get to 110 to finish. And the first time it froze, I was like, listen, if they tell me that I have to restart this exam over and click all the answers again, I'm gonna have to tell them, let's do this a different day, because today I can't do anymore. I was so tired halfway through that exam, I didn't think I was gonna make it. And then I had to restart my laptop, and then it let me back on, like saved all my answers, and then it froze again before I even like got back to the exam room. So it just was like a disaster. By the time I got out of the exam, it was after 2. My meeting with my advisor was at 1, so missed that. I emailed her an apology. She was like, it's fine, like, sorry, your exam was so difficult, whatever. But I had a great time out with Daphne, catching up. We went to a place called Cubra Libre here in Philly. And then we went to the Insomnia little like lab speakeasy. My arm is so tired. I can't even hold this camera up, like I'm just tired. Oh, my boyfriend's arriving, using his little key. All right, I'll help. You want me to help you? Okay, hold on. Anyways, what was I saying? Please let my daughter out so I can see her. Thanks. What was I saying to you before we were rudely interrupted? I don't know. The point is I'm exhausted and I'm home now and my daughter has arrived. Hi, baby girl. Okay, Baco, I'm coming. Look at my baby girl. Oh, you have the harness on her?
Yeah.
Hi, Zuzu. Zuzu. Hi, sweet girl. I missed you. Oh my gosh, Zuzu, you're getting big. What's going on? I have to ask you, what do we think of this hairstyle? Like, what are we thinking? I tried something new, but I think I just smoothed this down a bit too much because it's like really flat and I'm used to some like volume up there. So we'll see what it looks like on day 2. And I'm gonna like stretch it a bit or something because it's a little short, but I think this is it from me. My son is having a meltdown outside. So, oh, I have to wrap up surgery. So I'm a liar. Happy Saturday. My dad just came, well, both my parents came, and my dad built this contraption to wall off the cats from each other, but so they can still see each other. Everybody stay calm. I'm gonna show you. This is what it looks like.
She reached all the way in.
Okay.
So look, get your hand out.
Let's stay calm, guys. Yeah, I took her. But I think this will be how it is for a while. Hopefully the fence can come down soon. But the contraption's really cool. If you are interested in knowing what this is like chicken wire, that's what it's called. And then there's 4 pieces of wood and it's like all stapled and stuff together and it goes like basically all the way up. We're hoping Azula won't climb it ever, like figure out she can do that because she's a climber. I went and I saw Barbie, as you know, from I think the last vlog. And I bought this from the Barbie Boohoo collab. And isn't this just like the cutest little outfit? This is like a little shirt with 2 Barbies in the car. And then these pants, shorts. They say Barbie on it, like bedazzled or bejeweled or rhinestones, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's so cute. I feel so cute in my little like comfy outfit. Oh, Lord have mercy. It's just hard to tell if they're like putting their hands through the fence in a violent way or in a playful way. It's really hard to tell. Because then, like, okay, she's on her side now. Well, she was. Is she being violent?
So she growled.
Someone growled?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, let's separate. It is time to finally wrap up this vlog. It's time for the surgery wrap up. If you're a true fan, you know that this is my second time filming a wrap up today. If you know, then you know. Disclaimer, before I film every wrap up, I just like to say that anything that I say that may be negative, not positive, or anything in between in this wrap up are my own experiences, opinions. They're only what I've encountered, what I've thought about, and they are not a negative reflection on surgery as a whole, as a specialty, all surgeons, or anything like that. Yeah, take everything with a grain of salt because these are all my own thoughts, opinions, experiences, etc. So let's talk about surgery. Now listen. I'm gonna try to contain myself because I truly could talk about surgery as a rotation and as a specialty for an hour, but we are gonna control ourselves today. I just have so much to say. Like I have so much to say. Like I have so much that I want to tell you about it, and I just can't tell you everything. Like I can't tell you everything. One day when I actually do a Q&A, which will not be anytime soon because I just feel like you guys don't have questions, but one day when I do it, feel free to ask me anything about surgery or any other rotation because I really wish I could tell you every single story that I have. But let's stick to the script so I don't go crazy with talking. And let's start with the first category, per usual, diagnoses. Diagnoses for surgery, I would give a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I would give it a 9 out of 10 because the problems that people come in with that end up being surgical there's such a wide variety. I mean, you can have something as minor sounding as a stomach ache and boom, after some tests and imaging, like, oh, sorry, you actually need surgery. Or you could have something as major as internal bleeding from trauma and boom, you're in the OR, you need surgery. Honestly, there's so many things that you can treat through surgery. And of course, there's so many different surgical specialties. So not every surgeon treats every surgical problem, but there's so many things and it's so cool. And I always talk about how I want a big canvas to work on, like physically, as far as like whatever body part, organ system, whatever that I end up specializing in, and as far as diagnosis wise, like I just want a big canvas. I don't even know how else to explain it. Listen, like let me just tell you, I don't want to get off topic, but I have my first night shift tonight for OB and I don't know how to spend my day because I had a day shift yesterday and I just like my mind is all over the place because I'm supposed to like go in at 6 p.m. and I just like don't know how to sleep and then stay up, like because I was there during the day yesterday. Like so sorry. So if I'm just like, it's because my mind is all over the place, but I really needed to film this today. Excitement for surgery. 9 out of 10 as well. 9 out of 10. Obviously surgery is exciting. Like obviously it's exciting. And that doesn't have to mean that the patient's not doing well. The patient could be doing so well and you're just like doing really cool things. The most magical moment of my entire 3rd year so far was I was in the longest surgery that I've ever been in, at least on my feet, scrubbed in wise. The surgery was 8 hours and we were in the OR for 11 because you have to set up, do the surgery, and then like clean up like everything and like get the patient to wake up and all that stuff. So yeah, we're in there for 11 hours and this patient had lung cancer, and the size of the patient's tumor was the patient's entire lung. It was the left lung. Was the patient's entire lung. The whole thing was tumor. So we had to remove the entire lung and we were in there forever. The patient's lung had abscesses in it, which are like pockets full of pus, and pus is made up of bacteria. So there was abscesses like bursting open, pus coming out. I was right at the lung, so I was smelling all the bacteria, which if you want to know what the worst smell ever is, it's an abscess, like it's bacteria. It kind of smelled like a skunk hit on the road, like a skunk. Anyways, the magical moment was while we were in there in the chest cavity. If you don't know, your lungs sit here and in between your lungs is your heart. And so I could see this patient's heart, like I could see the patient's heart beating, pumping blood, keeping her whole body alive. I could see it with my own eyes through the patient's chest. Like I've seen hearts before from cadavers that are just stiff and cold and like not doing anything, but just to see a beating heart. I turned to one of the doctors in there and I said, this is magic. Like it was magic. It was magic. So surgery is super exciting. Like it's so exciting. Surgery has a bonus category because I just think it's very unique in the sense of, and everybody thinks about this when they think of surgery, is the environment. The stereotypical surgeon, when someone thinks of them, is not a warm, happy, friendly person. Like they are cold, they're impatient, they're kind of arrogant and mean and whatever. And I did definitely meet some surgeons who fit those guidelines. I wrote this down after my first day because I didn't want to forget it, but basically, this is gonna be such a long part, like please grab a snack. Basically, my very first day I walk in, I didn't know how to suture. They had some session during orientation, but we didn't even get to use the instrument, so like obviously I didn't know how to suture. I walk in, I'm so nervous, and the person in the OR, who was actually not a surgeon, the person was a PA, a physician's assistant. I walk in and they were like, have you scrubbed before? And I was like, oh, only in orientation. So to me, that means like kind of no, but like kind of. And then they were like, so you have? The answer is yes. I was like, okay. They're like, go scrub. So I go scrub. I'm like, you know, the whole surgery's happening. I'm like, okay, cool, cool, cool. The end of the surgery happens. And one of the things that medical students do in a way to like help out the surgery is we help suture the patient up, which I think I've discussed. And the PA was like, do you know how to do that? And I said, no. I literally say, no, I don't know how. So then she's like, and I was so nervous. You have to tie up your gown, and I forgot even how to tie a knot. Like, I would have forgotten how to tie my shoe. Like I just was so nervous. And the PA is like, do you know how to do the continuous bow tie knot? I was like, no. She's like, do you know how to do the elephant ice cream whipple knot? I'm like, no. They're literally naming all these things. I'm like, I don't know. And then they're like, do this. And they're like, okay, you do that one. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, oh, is it this way? And then they were like, I can help you. I'm focused on my own thing. I was like, oh my God. So that was like day one. I was thrust into some of those personalities. And on my second day, wow, this is my second day, I was with another student who was not a medical student. They were a PA student, and they basically accidentally contaminated an entire table of instruments. And someone, again, not a surgeon, someone who actually is the surgical tech who hands the instruments to the surgeon, turned around, started screaming at the other student and was like, you're an idiot, like what are you doing, like blah, blah, blah. And I just was like, oh my God. Obviously the student ended up crying later in the day, but like not in the OR. So I was like, okay, I'm never gonna do anything that will get me yelled at. I learned from that. I'm not gonna do anything like that. I think maybe like a week later, there was an actual surgeon this time who was pimping me, which is like asking me questions while we were in the surgery. And I was trying to answer the question, and the surgeon interrupted me and just started screaming their head off at me and was like, the answer is no, blah, 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 like screaming at me to the point where everyone was like, why are they screaming at this student? I didn't even do anything wrong. It just was like this whole thing. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I kept it together in the OR. You have to keep it together. You never let anyone see you sweat or cry or let any other liquids leak out. Like, you have to keep it strong. And then afterwards, I went to the bathroom and I cried. Because what else would you do in that situation? Like, when someone screams at you for no reason, you cry. So yeah, I've had some super low moments, and that's just the environment. That's the personalities. Not everyone is like that. Those are like the extreme moments that I witnessed. Some surgeons are not nice. Another thing that was a low, super low moment, the lowest moment of the entire rotation was I was on a 24-hour shift, not my first one, which you would have already seen, but my second one, which I did not film. And that shift was insane. Like, I wish I filmed it because it was so eventful, but I also am glad I didn't because it was so emotional. And in that night, I saw someone die. And I figured that might happen, you know, at some point that's gonna happen if you're gonna be a doctor or you're in medical school, I guess. But to witness it is so sad. And they died from a preventable cause. They died from a gunshot wound. And I don't even know how to describe how I felt about it, but it was just so sad and so emotional. And we were in the operating room. I was not scrubbed in. I'm glad I wasn't. Tensions were so high. I was actually one of the people that was taking bags of blood and hanging them on this like pole and like connecting them to the patient's IV so the patient could keep getting more blood because they were losing so much blood. And the trauma surgeon was like trying so hard to save the patient and wasn't successful, which is not the surgeon's fault. It just was impossible. And at one point the surgeon just stopped and said, we're never gonna get control of this. The bleeding, the patient had damage to their aorta, which is the biggest artery that comes straight off the heart. The surgeon was like, we're not gonna get control of this, and is anyone opposed to me calling it? And nobody opposed, and the surgeon said, okay, time of death is whatever time. I think it was like maybe 2 a.m. and we had a moment of silence, and like that happened. And I just was like, wow. In the 24 hours, like within that span, the 24 hours resident was telling me, because they get message when there's traumas, there was 10 patients who had gunshot wounds. 10. And there was, I think, 4 stabbings, and there was one patient who I was there when they came in, got hit with a hammer. Skull was like dented in, there was blood everywhere, and it's just like so much senseless violence. And I know that part of that is location that I'm in. It's higher prevalence here, but gosh, it just makes you think. It makes you feel like, what is the point of healing people if they can walk down the street and all of a sudden they can be attacked and be injured and lose their life for no reason? So sorry if you weren't prepared for me to bring that up, and I'm so sorry if that triggers anyone. I had low moments like that as well. I mean, it was such an emotional rotation. Transitioning, let's transition from that. That's just the environment. As far as like, there's really incredible personalities that I've met that were helpful to me. And then there were also personalities that I met that just seemed to attack me. I don't know why. Not that I'm trying to play victim, it's just like the reality of, I think, surgery. The environment is magical, and it's also can be super sad and super awful. Transitioning. Next topic is patient relationship. I gave this an 8 out of 10, but I want to say that patient relationship in surgery is whatever you want patient relationship to be. Oh my God, my camera's overheating. No. There's so many stories in this, but there's so much to say. One end of the scale, there was a patient who had lung cancer. We took out the lung cancer, and they were being discharged from the hospital that day after being there for several days. And the patient is their voice is breaking, there's tears welling up in their eyes, and they just say, I just want to start off by saying, thank you for saving my life. And the surgeon I was with said, all right, well, I'll see you. Walked out. I was like, I literally was standing there like, so I go to the patient, I'm like, don't get emotional. I'll get emotional, like whatever I said. But it just was like, how can you not be a human being in that moment when someone's thanking you for giving them the greatest gift ever, which is prolonging their life? And then other end of the spectrum, in the outpatient setting, because surgery does have outpatient when they have to see their patients pre-op or post-op. There was a patient who had surgery for lung cancer years ago, now is having difficulty breathing, had 2 biopsies. No one knows what's wrong with them, and they're super frustrated because they can't even walk a whole block without having to stop because they're out of breath. Their spouse is there as well. The spouse is also frustrated, and the surgeon just sat in the room with them. I was in the room as well for like an hour, just explaining like the options and why we don't know what's going on, like all this stuff. And by the end of the visit, the patient wasn't as reasonably frustrated. They were a little more calm. They were a little more hopeful that maybe answers will come soon. I think surgery with that, it's really what you make it. But I know if I become a surgeon, me and my patients, trust and believe, I didn't get into this to not have a strong relationship with my patients, because what is the point? Lifestyle, 5 out of 10. Life is ugly. The life is ugly. For the last 3 weeks of surgery, I had to wake up at 4:30 a.m. That's nighttime. That is not the morning. And every morning, like the first thing I would think of is like, why? Why am I doing this? I don't like waking up this early. I feel like I'm the only person in the world who's awake right now, and I don't like it. There's a lot of downtime in surgery, at least there was for me, in between surgeries, or if there weren't any surgeries that day, then I kind of had like a lot of time to study or do whatever, which I wasn't expecting, which was super nice. There were some days where I went home early, but there was some days where I stayed until like 10:30 p.m. because the surgery wasn't done. You don't leave until the surgery's done. So yeah, lifestyle really sucks. I think once you're in attending, you can have a good lifestyle. I think it's just up until that point, like when you're a resident, for example, the lifestyle probably isn't the best. My camera overheated, but let's keep going. I gave it a break. Let's finish this off. The shelf exam is a 6.5 out of 10. My shelf exam ended up being okay. I did get my grade. So I didn't rank it super low because I was actually interested in the information on the shelf exam. The thought process of bringing someone to imaging right away, or bringing someone to the OR right away, or not, like sending them home, just like things like that, I just thought was super interesting. But it definitely is the hardest shelf that I've taken so far, and it's one of the hardest shelves that I think I will take all year. And overall, I would give surgery an 8 out of 10. I would give it an 8 out of 10. I know what you're all wondering, are you gonna be a surgeon? I don't know. I still don't know, and that is, I mean, it's exciting because I've finally done a rotation where I could see myself doing it, but I am not sure. I'm not sure if I want to be in an environment where it's normal for people to treat me, not the best, like I'm not part of the team, or treat me with disrespect, or treat me just like I'm lesser. I think that's not the right way to treat someone who's trying to learn from you. And I don't like that that's so normalized in surgery. I also don't want to wake up at 4 a.m. every day for the rest of my life, to be honest with you. I don't know if I love surgery enough to wake up every morning crazy early, hours before the sun will come up. So I'm not sure yet. The highs are very high, the lows are very low, but I am so happy that I can say that I survived my surgery rotation, because this rotation was giving me a lot of anxiety all 30 years so far, just thinking about if I'll succeed and if I'll like it and if everyone will be mean to me or like whatever. I think that's everything that I have to say. So sorry if this was like so long, but I know when I did my poll, a lot of you are most excited for surgery, so I'm hoping a lot of you actually really wanted to hear this stuff. As always, if you have any questions, leave them down below. And I am so excited for the next rotation, which I actually started this week, which will be OB-GYN. So if you're interested in that, then stay tuned for the next video after this. And As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being there for me and for supporting me. If you like the video, then like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.